Yeah, good point.
Okay.
No, we're here. I just totally spaced. Thank you for the reminder.
You're welcome.
Avery and Logan's TA session, anyone have any comments about that? I thought it was fantastic.
It was super helpful.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Awesome. Well, Avery and Logan, thank you very much. Looking forward to news next week. The news site 2 guided lesson. Lots of people liked that as well. It seems to be a common theme that when the instructors or TAs kind of go through an assignment and show how something is done from top to bottom, that is very helpful for everybody. A lot of the lesson plan is, very pointed. It's very technique oriented. And I think that filling in the gap by going through whole projects kind of thing really helps people tie things together. That's probably why we get a lot of appreciation for those kind of lessons. React, everyone loves React. Well, one person does. Fair enough. Django and database reviews. Yeah, same as the new site 2 in the TA session. Fig Jam, I don't know what that is, but all right. Anybody want to tell me what a Fig Jam is?
Fig Jam was that site that they were using earlier to model out the database structures for
yeah. Okay, yeah, that's good. Some people like to have that stuff drawn out. Romeo Ramen and Ribs Slack channel ? Well, you can make whatever channel you want, frankly. So yeah, go for it. Still envious. Having Raphael there to answer additional questions when other instructors are giving the lectures. Yeah, that is helpful. Being able to have kind of the chat. One of the instructors tends to watch the chat and kind of give extra information and stuff that helps fills in the gap for the people. Any instructors additionally answering questions in chat during the lecture? Yeah, exactly. Much less distracting for the class. Yep. For the TA session, was very structured and made it easy to learn and follow along. Yeah, again, Avery and Logan did a fantastic job. It was very clean, very concise. It was very organized. It was very direct and helpful for a lot of people. I love the focus on processes to connect the different elements. Yeah, Logan's slides have been a really nice resource. Yeah, providing that information, certainly good for being able to revisit it. Anyone else have any good news or things they want to point out before we move on to the what can be improved? It's been that kind of week. All right. Let's move on to what could be improved. Does Apple have a, yeah, perfect. Why is that? Go away. All right. Lecture on Tuesday was very disorganized and covered almost the same exact content on Monday. Would have preferred to cover new content. The original workshop guest speaker bailed. I also think Adam did a good job expanding on what we learned on Monday. Yeah, that was, from what I understand, a bit of a unfortunate fluke, so to speak, with the workshop not happening. So I believe Adam and Raphael kind of winged it that day.
Yeah, I appreciate the feedback. Also, regardless of what was scheduled or not, that the feedback is still relevant and important. Like that shouldn't affect the class experience. So thank you.
I want to clarify on that original workshop guest speaker bailed. I wrote that because that is the reason that the lecture felt disorganized. It wasn't planned. It was just put on the spot impromptu.
All right. So given that, it was definitely not the best, but frankly, it probably wasn't much better than any other review day we've had. Just uncoordinated.
And I personally think the reinforcement on React, because we kind of went a little bit more in depth that day on certain things. So kind of that plus, just reinforcing the basics. I don't know. I think it helped me understand React better. So I was personally okay with it.
Yeah, I just want to add that React is definitely challenging for many people to learn. Most people will find React is the hardest part of our curriculum. And for sure, if we dive too deep, too fast, like we can lose half the class really easily. So it's definitely by design that we spend, a couple days going over the basics before we dive in any deeper.
Yeah, I can agree. After the first day of Monday, personally, I didn't quite know what I was doing. But after Tuesday and kind of revisiting those topics and having that extra day to practice, I felt much more coordinated. And then Wednesday, I was kind of on top of it a little bit. So Adam's demos could be more organized and pre-planned with end code. It would be nice to get through an entire demo from beginning to end, be able to give a concise answer. If not sure, other constructors could help. We still appreciate you. We do. I think that deeper into the lectures, deeper into the weeks when projects become larger, when you have to try to show, when your intention is to show CRUD techniques, obviously that entails setting up a model and then potentially even loading it with fixtures in the case of that circumstance. And then finally getting to URLs, views. And throughout that process, it's easy to get sidetracked and it's easy to get slowed down, feeling the desire to teach the content leading up to it. But it may potentially have been better to have a kind of a model and fixture set up for something, and then talk through how you got there, and then jump right into the intention. Because you do have 29 people asking you questions throughout the way, and it's easy to get slowed down by that.
Yeah, that is a good suggestion. Thank you. And I pretty much feel the same way. Like my feedback would be similar, so I appreciate it.
Yeah. I mean, all knowledge is valuable knowledge. Sometimes reaching the intended content is also important. Does anyone else have anything they want to say about that in addition? Okay, great. Fair enough. Is it possible for one of the instructors to kindly ask Jim Hennessy from the marketing team to be mindful of the in-person folks learning? He can definitely cause distractions with loud conversations right outside the classroom as his voice carries. That probably could have been put into a specific message to one of the instructors and not broadcast to the class. Sorry.
No, when it happens, just ping the one who isn't lecturing. If you folks haven't been, ping them on Slack.
Didn't do any algorithm interview challenges this week. That's true. We did have a lot to cover with React, but I think people do tend to like that content. Can we start breaking up into groups to do these? Popular opinion, and breaking into groups maybe once or twice could make doing in front of class easier, at least for me. My immediate thoughts on this are, fitting in the time. If we want to do like a 30-minute kind of time in the morning with breakout sessions for people to jump together and do some algorithms with each other, maybe, but time is precious. So how would we consider that, Raphael or Adam?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
It's in terms of having the algorithm interview challenges and starting breakout groups to have people be able to do them together. And my comment was, that's time additional time that you have to slot into the curriculum to figure out how to make that work.
Yeah, it's all just about time. We like to do them in the morning of the class to get everyone on the same page about algorithms, problem solving skills, but especially in React week, there's just a lot of core content to get through. And so it's tough to do too many things in the morning. We want to leave you time in the afternoon to actually think and work on the exercises instead of just cramming the whole day full of content. So certainly more algorithm challenges would be useful. And we're always trying to find more spaces to put more of them in. I believe you got more of them this cohort than the previous cohort did. But yeah, it's all about time. There's just a lot to do.
I think that in terms of these algorithms, there are websites and there are resources to practice them on your own. And if you are struggling with one, or if you finished one and you want to see what other people think, you're welcome to post it in Romeo Questions or Romeo Public and get people's feedback. Or if you really just want to go through it with somebody, ask someone in the class. Ask me. I'm happy to go do an algorithm with you, or you know, give you some advice or anything. I don't know. We can hash it out together. We'll figure it out. You know what I mean? But we're all here learning the same stuff together. But I think personally, focusing on algorithms specifically is important for, you know, interviewing and moving forward. But the purpose of this curriculum as a whole is full stack development through React and Django.
And just to
I
share and I appreciate what everyone's saying. We definitely talked about if we should do like breakout sessions for whiteboarding this week. And like Raphael was saying, like this week in particular, we definitely chose to focus more on React. And we're sort of going to just keep assessing going forwards. And when we do set aside time for whiteboarding problems, it will at least break into like 2 or 3 groups. I don't know if we'll get into really small groups, but it probably won't be the whole class.
Okay. Yeah. Let's move on to the next one. During assessment weekends, instructors being responsive on Slack for questions over the weekend about assessment requirements, or maybe getting assessment earlier on Friday so we can ask questions before the weekend. I think that's probably a good thing. I don't necessarily think that the instructors should have to hound over their Slack over the weekend. It's a job to them as well. But if we could get the assessment like an hour before the end of the day and be able to kind of look at it and then formulate our questions and say, hey, does this mean we have to do this? Or does this entail this? Or what exactly does this mean? We might need the time to do that. I think that's important, Raf.
Well, that's what we're doing today.
Yeah,
So you're getting the assessment as soon as we finish this retro right now.
great. Might even be better to actually kind of go over the instructions as a group as well and answer any questions that way.
For sure, we can do that.
Okay. Anyone else have any comments about that, or does that work? Excellent. All right. YouTube organization of videos. Yeah, YouTube's good. I don't know what that is. Is that alluding to something specific? Do we have some sort of?
So this came up last week too. And I know Raph said he wants to work on it. It's just the overall organization of the YouTube channel in terms of like maybe having playlists for stuff. I think that's what they're getting at.
Okay.
So, but yeah, like I said, it's come up before, and Raph said that he's planning on trying to do something about it. But you know, time is time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
also wasn't assigning videos to playlists for a while. I just missed that, and I've been the most recent ones over the last couple of days. I have been doing that, and so they're in the playlist for the week. So some of those that was just I missed that. That was one of the steps we needed to do.
Okay. Miss Raphael's lectures. Raphael, we just do you record your voice just to like meditate to?
You'd probably think I was really narcissistic if I said yes.
That's fair. That's fair. There are videos literally of you doing stuff. So, but yes, we do have 3 instructors that we do go between them. So it seems like Raphael has kind of taken a little more of a back seat because we do have 2 newer instructors that need the practice. So we don't get to see him as often as we see the other 2, but we still see him, and he does lecture. But that's just the nature of having multiple instructors. So structured repository with examples by topic. Django models, React components, algorithms, data structures, It can be difficult to try to remember which weekday lecture had the examples on topics. Structured repository. I mean, it's right now the repository is built out in what, curriculum day, and then it has the assessment, well, it has the notes in the day, and then you have to go into the day to find the bottom of it to pull up the assignments that way. I guess the solution to that would be having the assignments within that repository under that day, maybe.
So I'm the one who
But
wrote
even
that. I
then,
wasn't
like-
talking about assignments. I was talking about examples. Like if I want to go back and look
Oh, I
at
see.
the example they did for a React component, I have to
Oh, I see
remember
what you mean.
which week we did it, which day we did it, and then try to find the the markup file for it.
So when you go into demos and notes, is this what you're talking about?
No, that's the stuff that
Actually,
they, yeah, that's the stuff they do.
Let me share something. Justin, scroll to the top there.
Yeah.
Search for, it's not a complete solution, but just in case folks aren't familiar, go ahead and type something in that search box and hit enter. Just like, I don't know, put in router or something. So note on the right that it says it searches within the repository.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, so some of you may be familiar with that, some of you may not. It's a really powerful tool. Control / I think, or command / is a keyboard shortcut for it. I know that that is not the exact same as the issue that was raised, but it just occurred to me that it'd be good to mention that to folks who might not be familiar with that feature of GitHub. And that's something I use all the time when exploring a code base or looking for stuff in the curriculum.
Does that help, Zach? I don't know, maybe.
It's more helpful, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard to organize the repositories, especially once they're in there. You kind of have to remove them or move them around. But
I was specifically just mainly talking about like the examples they use in the curriculum folder.
okay,
I put it in the chat, but if you look at the Code Platoon calendar, it'll tell you like what days we learned what concepts and probably help you narrow down where to find it.
maybe, yeah. That's okay. Next, when lectures and demos get disorganized, it gets confusing to follow along. I think we hit on that already up here. More formal career services and guidance prep. Is that to come? I mean, is it too soon to be saying that or something? What are your thoughts on that, Raf?
I mean, most of the career services that we offer you are going to come either at the very end of the program or after you graduate.
Anyone have
There is
any?
a mock interview day coming towards the end. Have we discussed that much with folks?
I don't think I've said much.
Well, briefly, it will be basically from 9 till about 1. I think the Wednesday before graduation, everyone will go through ideally 2 behavioral and 2 technical interviews with volunteers that we have coming in from, like right now, a lot of people from Paylocity, but other companies where folks are volunteering.
Anyone have any comments on that? Maya?
Yeah, so I actually put that one. I just wanted to clarify a little bit. So when I put that, what I'm more so thinking of is like, for instance, Tish posted something in the career services in the career channel in Slack, and it was for an event, a hiring event that's actually going on like right now, but she didn't post it until this week. So just little things like maybe knowing about those events earlier, if it's something that we could all benefit from, maybe making it so that we could all attend without having to choose between that and missing retro or like missing class. Also, like for instance, for that particular program, they were saying that they were working with a lot of different companies, and they specifically asked which boot camp you're coming from. And there were probably 20 or 30 boot camps listed, and Co-Platoon was not on there. So just little things like that, those are simple services that could be provided, or, that they could be doing to reach out and give us more resources. And also I missed the chance to put it in the first section, but I did add it in there. I just wanted to point out that I did really appreciate you all. I could tell that you all heard us and you acted on it by having I forgot her name, but by having the woman come in earlier this week and talk about different roles outside of software engineering. So definitely appreciated that resource. Over.
Yeah, love the opportunity to hear about the non-SWE tech careers, creating the doc to let people vote for review topics. Yep. Those other positive things. Thanks, Maya. So before we move on to shout outs, does anyone have anything we missed? Anything that they'd like to point out, mention, say something about? No. Okay. Shout outs.
Well, I'll
Avery,
say
always a
I
good one.
accidentally
Yes.
put it in the improve, and then I just moved it up to the sustain section. But creating that document to let people vote for the review topics, I think is really nice, because it gives everybody a voice to say what they would like to cover for that week. So I think that's a good idea. So thanks, Adam, for starting that.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Also, I just have a brief comment, if you don't mind.
Go
Adam,
for it.
just for like the instructors in general, it seems like sometimes you guys are making decisions to, like this week, for example, you guys made the decision to not really go with the whiteboarding problems due to time constraints and stuff like that. Just as an example, is that something that those kinds of things that you guys decide, is that something we can maybe brief at the beginning of the week? That way the students have, that opportunity to prepare, so they're not maybe waiting for that opportunity, so that they can make secondary plans on their free time.
We can definitely do a bit more of laying out the agenda for the week. I'm not sure if the whiteboarding really affects the schedule, but we can definitely share a bit more about the agenda. Some of it is a little day by day, but this week we did kind of know that with React, it's just that was kind of the big focus.
All right. Moving on then. Shout outs. Avery, excellent. Always good work. Guest lecture content. Open up the opportunity for Agile certification. Yes. Ben, all of our awesome TAs, even Logan, spelled fancily. Cheston, everyone loves Cheston apparently. He's a great author. I've read many of his notebooks. Adam for missing the guest lecture. for covering for the missing guest lecture. Zainab's lectures to continue to be excellent. Zainab taking extra time to grade all the assessments. Zach for tips and tricks, absolutely. Thorough feedback that we get on assessments. And TAs and instructors popping in and out of breakout sessions is also helpful. Excellent. Awesome shout outs. Anyone else? Last second shout outs? No? Awesome. Does that mean we're ready to find out who's going to be the next person to do this?
Let's do it.
Thank you, Justin, for running this retro.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Big changes.
You're welcome. Welcome to the Romeo Platoon retro
This is
contest.
spicy.
Retro roulette. Hall of Famers down here, people who've already been selected.
That's awesome.
Press for magic. Are we ready to go? Cross your fingers.
It worked.
Of course it worked. you trying to say?
I think I'm gonna leave
Evan.
school.
Congratulations, Evan. Are you going to be able to do this next week?
Yeah, for sure.
You are? Excellent. Save.
Justin, how much time did you put into making this?
1 day. So now Evan is in our little scrolly
It
thing
looks
here.
good.
Oh,
Is
yeah,
that
thank you.
or what's the name of the HTML tag that Raphael really likes that scrolls?
Carousel?
It starts with an S.
Marquee.
Is that a marquee? It's
Marquee?
probably
No,
not.
it's not.
It's a carousel.
It's not. But my CSS for this was very specific to only having 4 pictures, so now it's going to look a little janky. So unfortunately, I don't know how to make it to. Yeah, you can see how it resets.
Or
I
Justin,
have
that's
to-
the next guy's problem.
Yeah, seriously. The CSS is a little specific for this. You have to like multiply it by the number of pictures to make it smooth.
So we're
Anyway.
expecting the React to add whoever gets selected or whoever the previous person was, like instantaneously to the Hall of Fame with React, right?
Yeah, good
So
luck.
that's what Garcia is, right?
Yeah, I went ahead and I saved all the names in a CSV file. And I made it so when you hit that save button, it updates the CSV file.
This is awesome.
Do you have pictures of all of us in there?
No, probably not. And
That was
somebody
what
before
Dan
me-
added, right?
Yeah.
Dan, didn't you take pictures of everybody when you did it? Did you?
I mean, that makes it sound creepy. I took screenshots. Okay.
That's the same.
Like, come on.
Okay. Take screenshot.
Painting me in a horrible light there.
But have those pictures been passed on through the people, or are those lost now?
No, they're here.
Oh, they are there. Okay.
All students.
So contact Evan if you want your, well, if you want to know what your picture is and if you want it changed.
Yeah, a lot of the pictures are not. Well, I mean, half the people have their cameras off, so a lot of people don't have pictures. Which I guess we can see here. Yeah, Angel, no picture.
Angel,
So-
turn your camera on.
Yeah,
I
it's not
think
gonna
if they
work like
didn't
that.
have their camera on, we get to fill it with a funny picture that we
No,
all
good
just
luck.
get to laugh
That's a
at.
good rule. That's a good
That's
rule.
up to you. All right, well, congrats, Evan. Is that it for the retro? What's after this?
Adam, you're muted.
Yeah,
Thank you, Zainab. Why don't we take 10 and then we'll reconvene and we can go over the assessment for people who would like to do that. I mean, isn't every assessment sort of a paired programming assessment in that?
Yep,
you can
yep,
always
now
ask
it
each other
is.
For help and
What?
I don't think anyone,
Thanks for the permission, Adam.
I mean.
Wait, what?
negative.
Well,
No.
you have to
Adam
write your own
misspoke.
code. You can't have someone else write the code for you, but you can ask questions. I guess we don't want people sharing code with each other. But you know, if you're like, I'm not sure how to remind me how to pass data into a template again from a view function, you know, I feel like your classmate. Am I totally off base here, Zainab?
Yeah, you're completely off base. I don't know when we've ever been allowed to ask questions to each other.
That's why you don't phrase it in the sense of the assessment.
It can be out of context.
Like, just for my curiosity, how do I?
In this completely unrelated example.
Yeah.
No, but we
Well,
have plenty of notes
I
between all the
mean-
assignments and all the shared repositories.
I
You can
guess,
find some examples out there for what you need.
yeah, I don't want to speak exactly for Code Platoon's policies, but you have access to all the code. You have access to Google and Stack Overflow in the internet. So if you're asking a classmate something that you could find out on the internet, I feel like that's kind of the same thing.
Hey, friend, can you go check out the Stacked Overflow question?
Yeah, we'll ask Raphael. Let's see what he says. I mean, I think you know, you probably shouldn't be sharing each other's code with each other for the assessment. But my first thought is kind of everything short of that is okay. Does that, I mean, are people generally kind of asking each other for help and asking questions and stuff during non-assessment work time when it's not pairing?
I mean, are you trying to like hint towards something right now?
Well,
Now,
I mean, a little bit. It's kind of
Oh.
like, you know, when you're, that's, I mean, you saw with when we did the group programming exercise today, it's not, the job is not to like know all this stuff ourselves. It's to know how to find it out from the internet and from other people. Yeah, I'm halfway to, no, Raphael decided to take a call in the office and I forgot my headphones today. So I was looking for a booth, but they're occupied. But let's take 10. Let's come back at like 2 or 8. Let's come back at 2:20. Nice round number, and we can go over the assessment. Cool. Let me